There we go. Here we go. It's going.
It's going? Okay, because I'm not doing this twice. Alright, so I've been told I'm supposed to grab your attention, so that. So, many people don't think English is important, but it is. Believe me, I know many people don't see the importance of English and of English education, but it is. Believe me, I live on a hall full of engineers who are constantly telling me how obsolete and unimportant English is. But it's important, and I'm going to be an English teacher, and I will tell you why English teachers are vitally important to our society. Teachers of English make students functional members of society by teaching them three very important things: speaking, reading, and writing. Without English, students would be unable to communicate with each other or other people in society, which brings me to my first point, verbal communication, which is very helpful for everybody. So, an English teacher teaches students how to verbally communicate with each other and everyone else in society. An English teacher teaches students things such as definitions of words and better words they can use in situations and what that word means and whether they can use it in that situation or not. So that's pretty much the importance of verbal communication. If students didn't learn how to verbally communicate with each other, if they didn't have an English teacher that taught them how to verbally communicate, they would have a language barrier within their own country, which would cause them to be unable to communicate with people. They have a language barrier in their own country, and they'd be very uncomfortable with people. And speaking involves a lot of grammar, and grammar is very important whether you realize it or not, because the order in which words comes in a sentence is extremely important. If I said big blue, well, that's actually the proper word. If I said blue, bat, big, I mean, eventually you'd probably get the gist of what I said, but you'd be like, well, that sounded weird, and you'd probably think I was kind of stupid, which brings me to a point about job interviewing within communication. If you didn't know how to verbally communicate properly, you'd go into the job interview and you'd be saying things with all the wrong grammar, and you'd be saying words that don't actually mean what you think they mean, and the person who's interviewing is going to think you're an idiot and you won't get hired. Which brings me to my next point. If you ever did get that job, somehow magically, you'd have to probably read in the job, because whether you know it or not, reading is vitally important to basically every job out there. So without English teachers, kids would be illiterate and unable to function properly in society. As stated by the former governor of Wisconsin and leaving essentials from BYU, if a person cannot read, it is hard for them to function in society. So, reading is important. It teaches children how to do things such as reading a street sign, or reading a newspaper so they can read a headline, or even going on the internet where you need reading all the time, or even a video game, because everyone, well, not everyone, but a great deal of people out there play video games that have storylines that you need to read, or you need to read the manual to understand how to play everything. Next is point number 3, where English teaches writing, which is very important, because when you're going out in the world, you need to read, well, you need to write, and you're not going to be able to get a job without writing, because what job doesn't require you to have a resume or a job application, which you have to fill out, and you have to write properly, and, you know, also in school, you're probably going to have to write a paper, whether in an English class or not. A lot of classes will make you write papers or a lab report or something. And if you don't know how to write, because an English teacher hasn't taught you, how are you going to learn how to write? English teachers teach students the importance of writing. So, in conclusion, English teachers are important, and we should teach reading, writing, teach our kids to be literate, and that way they can communicate with each other and be functional members of society. Thanks.